Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are in the backyard and we are going to plant two annuals in mass that are going to make a gorgeous statement. One of those, well actually both of them must be rabbit resistant, because if you have been following along on my journey, we have some bunnies that have taken up residence here in the forest pansy bed, and then they are coming across the path down here to the flower bed just right across the pathway, and they have completely eaten my blew my mind volvulus. So let me show you the space and let me show you the plant. I've laid out some of the plants just to kind of give you an idea. And then we're going to move from there. All right, so of course we are. Right here is the patio area. This is the spot right in here. We have this kind of little bit of a, not quite a triangle, but similar to a triangle, where I have my gardenias. I have a beautiful 9-bark and more gardenias, and then this is the Incredible hedge behind the seating wall. I had planted these Angelona. This is the perfectly pink. It is doing magnificently well. Beautiful. This was the plan, to have the perfectly pink in here. We're also going to go ahead and take, I have much more. They're kind of hanging out over here. We're going to fill in this whole area with the perfectly pink as well. The plan all the way back from the winter was to outline these two beds with the blew my mind volvulus. I had this section planted. I got all of that, this little nook done at one time, and not very long after I got it planted, the bunnies started to come and nibble on it. They first started over my shoulder right here, where I have the yin and yang, and this is a little quick fire, and I had this little nook right here where I had the blew my mind there. I know I have two bunnies. I've seen they were babies. They're quickly growing up, and they love that blew my mind volvulus. They have literally eaten it to the ground. So I have not pulled out the volvulus. It is simply gone, and the nubs are still there. You can, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a nub right here, and then there's a little nub right there. The reason I am going to go ahead and put the double up white begonias is because those are wax begonias. Supposedly, bunnies, rabbits do not like wax begonias. So therefore, we're going to go ahead and put those in the place of the blew my mind. The Angelona has been here the entire time, and they have not touched it. So I feel confident in going ahead and planting the rest area of that with these two plants. Time will tell. I'll let you know if the double ups really are rabbit resistant. And even last night we saw one come out. We were sitting on the back porch at about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and right here, ran out from here, hopped across, and was coming this way. Brenna, bless her heart, was kind of in la la land, didn't see it. I'm trying to get her to chase them, not that she will catch them, or I mean, maybe she would catch them. I have no idea. I just want her to scare them to death and them to know that there is a predator here so that they will move on to the woods. So far, I don't think that's working, but I digress. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get those planted, and I have got them all laid out. I went ahead as far as the double ups. I know I have them really close to the edge, but I like how the plants come and soften when they kind of hang over the edge of that metal edging of the pathway. I like how they soften that, and it gives it not such a hard look. So I fully suspect that planting these begonias right here, right on the edge, that they're going to, because these are a very mounding habit to them, that they will come over and just kind of soften that edge. Also, I know clearly that I have landscape lighting in here. So what I went ahead and did is pulled up and exposed my wire so that I know exactly where my lighting wire is, so that I will not drill through it with the auger, because I will be using my Power Planner auger. These two lights, the lines come together, they're right here, and then they connect with that junction box that is behind the rows. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the double ups in the ground. I have already put biotone down in the whole space, and I did the Proven Winners time release fertilizer down in the whole space. That way I don't have to worry about it. I can just come through here and drill my holes, get these planted, then I'm going to come back and do the Perfectly Pink, so that way it fills it all in. So yeah, I'm trying to beat the sun. It is warm. Of course, North Carolina, zone 8A. It is in the mid to upper 80s. So first thing here in the morning, trying to get these done before the sun really starts cranking down on me, because this spot does get quite toasty. So I am moving with purpose today. All right, my friends, so the double white begonias have been planted. They are good to go, so yay for that. You know, it's not that challenging when you're doing the same plant. That makes it great. So you just kind of evenly space them out. Went up a little bit on this sidewalk, right? So really kind of framing this whole bed where the David Austin roses are. Another reason that I put these double ups right here on the edge is, especially when you come down here, you can see where the water washes when we get major rain. Now, a normal rain, everything is fine, but we haven't been having normal rain, and so what happens is water starts really like running right here, and then all you can see that my path has been washed out. So hopefully by putting these plants here, that is going to slow down the water, right? That is a great way to combat erosion, is to put plants there. So the plants will slow the water down, they soak up the water, and they prevent or help stop all of that runoff. What we're gonna do here with the path is, I think we're gonna come in with a little bit bigger river rock than, say, like these pebbles, more like, maybe, I don't know, the size of that river rock. Either that river rock or somewhere in between these, and then place them between these flagstones. So that way it'll just stop that water from just eroding all of my soil out, and the water will run on top of the rocks and not getting rid of the soil. But yeah, so it just framed it perfectly. Looks really sweet. And then I have got the Perfectly Pink Angelonas. So I've got 50 of them here. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to use them all or not. The spacing is anywhere between 10 and 14 inches. And I want to make sure that I give my roses plenty of room to breathe right here. We have just really severely cut back and pruned the roses because they were in full bloom when we got all of that massive rain, and so many of the blooms were just heavy laden with that water, and they were just pulling down. They were yanking the plants down, disforming the plants, disfiguring them, and so we just came in and did a major prune. That was a week ago, and look at all of that beautiful new growth. This is Ruval Dahl, and putting on tons of new growth, and then this one is actually putting on new flowers. That's the beautiful thing about roses, is that you can prune them. It is okay. And so I want to give them plenty of room to breathe. So really, I'm not going to come too much past like the back of these trays right here. So I'm basically going to do kind of the same thing and just get these babies placed in here. Since it's all the same plant, I don't really have to make sure that, you know, there's a certain pattern because I want just nice full coverage. So I'm just gonna go for it and get these planted. If you hear a big commotion, because there is a lot of commotion going on over the past couple of days, Jackson has really done it himself. Has completely emptied and then demolished what we called our tractor shed. That horrible eyesight that has been there, that was one of the original buildings that it was probably the very first structure that Jerry built here, and it was to house the tractor, right? And so it was that shed. It became the catch-all where you just kind of throw all your junk in there, and it was a definite eyesore. I've been wanting to get rid of it for years. So we got a dumpster that Jackson went through the past couple of days, emptied things out, threw stuff away that just needed to be thrown away. We have piles of stuff that we're keeping. We're going to put it somewhere, and then they have had the most fun getting rid of the structure. So that, if you hear the commotion, that is what that is. And yeah, so let's get these perfectly pinks in the ground. Okay, my friends, today's project is complete. The begonias are in the ground, the perfectly pinks are in the ground. They have been watered, they of course have their fertilizer, put a little land and sea around a couple of them that had some bare soil. But yes, I'm gonna back up, or go forward rather. This whole little space is just looking so nice. Everything is filling in. Of course, when we pruned the roses, we got the generous gardener, got her nice and pruned back too. That way she can flush out and get ready for another set of flowers. I love this little section right here. So we've talked about this before, that Mimi and I are good/bad influences on one another. And for Mother's Day, I had gotten her a copper fountain. It was gonna be a little bit shorter than this. She put it in her yard, and then she was like, "Oh, Jenny, I would love to have a bubbler." So she ordered a little solar powered bubbler for hers. And then I saw it and I was like, "Oh, Mama, I want a bubbler too. I want to copy you." So she got me one, and then I brought over the short reeded bird bath urn over here, and it just fits quite nicely in this little corner. Of course, we've got the penstemon back there that the pollinators are just absolutely loving. The banana cream 2 Shasta daisies back there are just starting to form their buds, and the flowers are opening. Just so sweet, right? And then you've got that, I mean, look at that. Look at that little bumblebee right there, just living his best life. And there's a bunch of them in there. So that is all looking quite nicely. And then of course, you look through here and the arch really kind of frames this picture right here that I just adore. Love having the begonias right here, having them frame this section. Perfectly pinks, just nice and filled in. Of course, they're gonna get nice and thick. All of these are. I imagine that planted them so that the begonias, when they fill in, they'll be like a hedge. So you're not gonna see any space between them. With the angelonas, you're probably gonna see some space, but it's not gonna be completely filled in, but it's also not gonna be a lot of space between them. And then wrapping it around and continuing that look right here, you can kind of see how these angelonas have really started to do that, how they're just really thickening up. Of course, the angelonas, the Angel Face series from Proven Winners, these things love the heat. I mean, they are super heat tolerant. Not necessarily drought tolerant, because they do need, adequate moisture, but they love the heat, as do the Surefires. So the Surefires are so much fun. Not the Surefires, these are not, the Surefires do, but these are double ups. I made a mistake. The double ups are like the surefires in the fact of they can do full sun to full shade, anything in between. Love these plants. Super, super easy. And if they prove that the rabbits don't like them, then that makes me love them even more. So I cannot wait to see how all of this fills in. Talking about angelonas and some angel faces. You were with me when we planted. These are new introductions for next year. All that information will be revealed at a later time, but I can show you the picture, like show you what they look like. Isn't that cute? I love that bicolor of that white and that pink. So when I did these, I planted them in groups of 3 so they would really, really like get thick and full. And then they're all the way down there past, you know, the doozies and everything. Just give you a little look-see here. Look at that. Isn't that looking lovely? And the Incrediballs are getting ready to really kind of come out. They're covered in buds. They're starting to show a little bit of color on them, but yeah, I love it. So whole area is coming together quite nicely. Jackson is living his best life with demo and all the machines. So it's just another fun day here at Creekside Nursery. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.